Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, word to my brethren in Dania, Florida. We're back home, as you guys can see, back on set here, and it's fantastic to be home. The New York trip was great. Learned a lot while I was out there. Met a lot of good people. So shout out to everybody that I met in New York City. But wanted to get into this boxing talk. We had Amir Imam fight recently on the undercard of Mike Reed, Jose Ramirez on ESPN. Obviously, he wasn't actually on, television, the television portion of the broadcast. You had to actually go out of your way and watch him on ESPN3 and download the app. So that's what I did. I watched him. I didn't know he was fighting until the day of the fight. So it was good to see him back in the ring. Good to see how he looks because, I go to the gym, I see him train. But it's good to see Amir Imam back active again. This was like his third fight since the Granados fight. I believe his third fight, yeah. So it was his third fight since the Granados fight. The closest thing you got to a TV fight with Imam since the Granados fight, with another overmatched opponent in Johnny Garcia, guy that Ramirez also fought. And he looked sensational. He got the W. Ramirez fought a tougher opponent in Mike Reed. Good slick, maybe undersized, but good slick skill boxer. 20-0 before the fight. Ramirez got him out of there in the second round. I thought it was a good performance by him. And now it's setting up a 140-pound clash for that WBC title. A lot of vacant titles in that division. Now that Terrence Crawford vacated them and is moving up to 147. So just looking at that fight, looking at Amir Imam, looking at Jose Ramirez. So I'll be honest, I didn't really know a lot about Jose Ramirez until that fight. Like I've heard his name. I've seen a couple clips here and there, but never really studied him. And I gotta say, man, he's a good fighter. And I'm doing a little homework on him. And I believe he was a bronze medalist in the 2012 Olympics. So the guy can definitely fight. Looking at his style, and how it would match up with Amir Imam, Ramirez, and this, to me, okay, let's be honest for a second. I like Amir Imam. He's someone that. He was. I don't know if you guys know this, but little do you guys know, the first boxer I ever interviewed was Amir Imam. So, fun fact of the day there for you. So, I love Amir Imam. I want to see him do well, but I want to see him really earn his title shots. And honestly, he doesn't deserve a world title shot against Jose Ramirez. But hey, I'm happy to see him get that shot. And I wouldn't mind if he does get it. If he does snatch that title up, him fight like Adrian Granados, in a rematch. That'd be fantastic. I would love to see them two duke it out again. It was a fantastic fight on the first time. And a chance for Amir to avenge a loss. It'd be a chance for Adrian to get that title shot. Because let's be honest, Adrian Granados, should he move back down to 140, he deserves a world title shot way more than in Amir Imam, or even a guy like Jose Ramirez. He's really put in the work there. So with that being said, as far as the fight goes, the intriguing thing about Ramirez versus Imam, and it's slated to happen early next year, the talk in January. The intriguing thing about that is, Jose Ramirez, in terms of his height, he's probably the only guy in the division who can kind of match Imam as far as, the measurables, as far as height, reach. I believe Amir Imam would only have an 1.5-inch reach advantage, which is very rare because usually Amir Imam in that division especially is used to having a 4, a 5, a 6-inch reach advantage. He's a big guy for the weight class, a very long, rangy, kind of built from the Tommy Hearns, cut from the Tommy Hearns cloth as far as his body type. And the fight's very interesting because you look at a guy like Ramirez, a guy who obviously has a great amateur background, a guy that, while I haven't seen a lot of him, but from what I did see, again, I can just look at the Mike Reed fight. Mike Reed, a guy who's a slick southpaw, a guy that can give other fighters fits, and really he's not a guy to look easy, a good guy to look easy to look good against. He's not an easy guy to look good against. And Ramirez, I thought, did a tremendous job just with his jab and cutting the distance and getting on the inside and placing his punches. I was really impressed with the punch placement of Ramirez, and you can see that's what a good, long, decorated amateur career will get you. It'll get you those fundamentals. No matter who you're fighting, and it's always a good thing to lean on as a foundation of your skill set. So I think the fact that he's a very well polished fighter, he's had a great amateur background, and on top of that, he's one of the few fighters in the division that can match Amir Imam's height and his reach and his measurables. I think that's what makes the fight interesting. And then I look at Amir Imam, I look at a guy that, at one point in time, if we rewind time back to maybe, let's say, October of 2015, before just a month or two before the Granados fight, Amir Imam was one of the most touted prospects in boxing. This was a guy that, when you talked about who would be the next big thing in boxing, you could not mention that, especially with American prospects. You cannot mention guys who would be the next big thing in boxing without mentioning Amir Imam. And ever since the Granados lost, obviously the steam has been lost from the luster has been lost from his name. But when I saw him fight, and albeit it was against the overmatched opponent in Johnny Garcia, when I saw him fight Garcia, I saw a guy who was patient, used his jab, trusted his jab, and I'll be honest, man. Like Amir Imam, albeit he hasn't fought the creme de la creme as far as the names on his resume, when he commits to that jab and he trusts his jab and he's landing that jab, when usually with Amir Imam, he's got good timing, he's got good reflexes. When he is trusting that jab and he's, commanding the distance with the jab, it's one of the best jabs in boxing. It truly is. It really is. It keeps his opponents at bay. It hurts his opponents. He really beat Johnny Garcia with just a jab. And you can even go back to like other fights, but when he was undefeated, the Walter Castillo fight, the Ugas fight, these were fights where in many spots of the fight, he was showing command with the jab. So he's the guy that is not a common, like a high volume puncher. He's more of like he likes to pick his shots, be more methodical with his work, and land up with a higher percentage. So that's always the thing with Amir Imam is not so much the talent, it's not so much the skills. It's okay, does Amir Imam know how to handle volume punchers, how to handle guys who have a high work rate? In my opinion, though, until he tightens up his defense and learns just a little bit more how to fight on the inside, it's always volume punches will always be a problem for Amir Imam. They always will be. That's why if he does fight a Granados again, Granados will still be a hard fight for him, and it's a fight that he can very much still lose if they fight him. But as far as him versus Ramirez, great style matchup, fantastic style matchup. It's a chance. I think it's a fight for Imam actually that I think could bode well for him, because with Ramirez being the same height as him, with Ramirez being someone that, yes, can punch the body, yes, can cut distance, it's still a fight that will be won with the jab. And honestly, when it comes to trying to out-jab Amir Imam, there's very few fighters in his weight class that will be able to do it. I really think at that top level at 140, and I'm going to make a video about 140 because it's a division that's slowly heating up. There's only maybe one fighter in the division that I think could out-jab Amir Imam, and you're looking at maybe like a guy like Josh Taylor, and that's really where it ends. But other than a guy like Josh Taylor, out-jabbing Amir Imam is going to be very, very tough. You got to have success with the jab and then obviously work off of it. And that's where I think the fight gets interesting for Ramirez and for Imam, because, look, even though he looked good against an overmatched opponent, Amir Imam, the question for me, objectively for him, as much as I like him, is how does he handle inside work? How does he handle a guy coming up on the inside, cutting distance? And if they do, and he's uncomfortable, will he actually tie them up? Because that's probably the one thing that hurt him in the Granados fight. He talks about how he was sick, and if he was, whatever. But you got to overcome those things as a fighter. He never tried to tie Granados. He stayed in that Philly shell, trying to roll the punches. And Granados was just literally finding every hole in that Philly shell. And and that was a problem before the Granados fight. Like, he had knockdowns before that. So what I'm saying with Imam is, it's really a sink or swim type of moment in his career. He had a loss that he wasn't supposed to get against Granados. It's a win he probably would have got against Granados too had he got to the cards, because judges were corrupt. They're going to give him the decision anyway. So with Imam, you look at Jose Ramirez, and it's a sink or swim type of moment for him against Ramirez. He's going to have to go to his backyard in Fresno against the house fighter and beat him, which I think is actually ironic, because Amir Imam was a house fighter in the Granados fight, and you saw what happened in that fight. So I'm interested. I think we're going to learn a lot about Amir Imam. I think we're truly this next year we're going to truly learn a lot about Amir Imam as far as the character. Who is Amir Imam really? Is he the guy that we saw in Showbox knocking out all these prospects and destroying? Is he the guy from the Walter Castillo fight? Is the guy from the Yordenis Ugas fight? Or is he the guy that from the Granados fight? Is he a front runner? Is he a front runner? That's what we're going to learn from the fight, and I think that's what excites me about it. And And not even just for him, for Ramirez, is he as good as I've heard some people hype him up in boxing? We're going to get a lot of answers about him. And these are the fights you need to have in boxing, and I'm looking very forward to it. Hopefully I get down to the gym soon to talk to Amir myself, because I just want to know where he's at and all that good stuff. But yeah, this fight should be happening next year. I want you guys to tell me, what do you think about Amir Imam versus Jose Ramirez? It's a fight where I'm actually very excited for it, because particularly for Amir Imam, just because I've had a chance to really follow his career, be a part of it, just from the media side, interviewing him, seeing him train. I'm very interested to see. He has all the skills in the world, I truly think, Amir Imam on his best night can beat anybody in the 140-pound division. But it's really, who is he up here? Who is he in here? And what has he done since the Granados fight against overmatched opponents? What has he done in the gym and in the ring to work on the glaring deficiencies he had defensively and on the inside? And I'm looking forward to those questions being answered. Amir Imam versus Jose Ramirez slated for early 2018. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this fight. Take the time to subscribe. Do me a favor. Go on Instagram, follow True School Sports. We've been getting active there on True School on the True School Sports Instagram, so you can go find us at True School Sports on Instagram. Give us a follow. Got some good content coming out over there as well as here. So trying to expand the brand, expand the name, and yeah, man, just take the time to subscribe. Leave your comments down below. And like I always say, and it's great to say it again, because we're back here in the great city of Dania. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.